Welcome back. President Trump's rally blitz. The president planning 11 rallies in 6 days ahead of the midterm elections. He is going to be busy these next 6 days. He will be in Cleveland on the eve of the elections, focusing on the booming economy. Congressman Jim Renacci is with us. He represents Ohio's 3rd District, and he joins me right now. Congressman, it's good to see you this morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning, Maria. Thanks for having me.
What are you expecting the president to say to rally up? Will it be economic things that rally up your constituents?
Well, look, I think the big thing is let's look over the last 16, 17 months. What's happened? We've got, businesses that are growing, employing more people. We've got companies that are expanding their operations. And these are the things that are happening in Ohio. And I think he just needs to come in and make sure people remember that when they go to vote the next day, which I think will be important.
We have breaking news this morning because it is about economic issues, but it's all about immigration. It's also about immigration for voters. And a major immigration change, Axios is reporting that President Trump is planning to sign an executive order which removes birthright citizenship for children of non-citizens and illegal immigrants born on American soil. Your reaction to this, Congressman? We know that this has been a trend. People come, they're 7 months pregnant, they come to America, they have the baby is then an American citizen, and then that gets them here as well. Your reaction to what the president's doing?
Well, look, I've said all along, we have an immigration system that's broken. It's Congress's fault. Congress has been sitting on this for years. We need to get something done. We need to fix an immigration system and make sure that we have a process that works, that allows people to immigrate here in a legal way, not an illegal way. And I think that's the key, and I think this president's pushing that.
Yeah, I just want to point out, here's what the 14th Amendment to the Constitution has to say. All persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States and of the state wherein they reside. So the president is saying, this is an interview, I think it airs,
it's on Axios on HBO.
Right, that airs this coming Sunday. So right before the midterms, that the president is saying, well, people are telling me that I don't need an act of Congress to change this amendment, that I can do it through executive order. But again, it remains to be seen whether this is just talk, whether this moves forward, and how much pushback you get just from legal scholars.
And this is going to be the debate. Could he do this by executive order, or does he need a constitutional amendment to do this?
Yeah, I mean, Congressman, I appreciate your answer, but it's a more straightforward approach. Do you support the idea that if you're here illegally and you have a child, that birthright citizenship shouldn't be automatically given?
Well, look, I support the Constitution. I support all the amendments. I do understand what the president's doing. People here in Ohio are really fed up with sanctuary cities and just people coming across the border illegally. So I think in the end, we have to abide by our Constitution, our amendments, but we have to make sure that Congress is fixing a broken immigration system, and I think that's the key.
One thing I will note, though, Pete, on this, that one problem in this country has been what's called birth tourism.
Yes.
Women flying into the United States or coming into the United States under tourist visas, particularly from countries like China, and having their children here. These children become American citizens because they're born on U.S. soil, and then they go back home, and it opens the door for their children to, say, go to college here. And this was a problem for years and years, so much so that the Obama administration started cracking down on these birth tourism businesses, say, out in Los Angeles, that there were a number of raids before President Obama left office. So this is a problem that not just this president has been addressing, and that kind of acknowledges that this birth tourism is a weight on the country.
Yes, and for the majority of our history, personhood has been determined by citizenship, actually. It's only a more modern convention that the idea is any person. It's not that a person isn't a person, it's that for legal purposes of our country, citizenship is how the 14th Amendment is applied. This will be a big test.
Yeah, is it any person or is it a citizen?
That's right.
Of America. And the president tells Axios, we're the only country in the world where a person comes in, has a baby, and the baby is essentially a citizen of the United States with all of the benefits that come with it. It's ridiculous, and it has to end. It's in the process. It'll happen with an executive order, he says. And this is to Axios. So, and as you say, this is going to be the conversation going into the midterm elections. Let me ask you this. Congressman Jim Jordan is tweeting about the president's accomplishments. He's talking about cutting taxes, the confirmation of Supreme Court justices, rolling back of regulations, all of these things, lowest unemployment in 40 years. out of the Iran deal. Jim Jordan tweeted about this yesterday. What's most important, do you think, for your constituents in Ohio? How are you feeling about the midterms?
Yeah, I was with Jim Jordan yesterday. We were meeting with companies who are growing and talking to their employees who are very happy with what's going on here. And really, it comes down to jobs in the economy. When I'm traveling this state in Ohio, people are saying, look, we want to make sure we have good jobs, good paying jobs, and that's what we're seeing happening. We're happy with what's going on the last 16 months versus the previous 10 years. So in the end, I think that's what the president needs to continue to talk about when he comes here to Ohio. And again, Jim and I saw that yesterday when we met with 4 or 5 different companies, saw how they were booming, how they're growing, how they're talking about their revenues are up, they're going to continue to add employees. This is what's happening in Ohio, and I think this is what's important.
Yeah, but we got political divisions out there. Attorney General Jeff Sessions was interrupted by protesters yesterday during a speech. And then you've got expectations that, you know, we're going to see the majority go to the Democrats. How are you feeling about the House right now, 7 days away? Do you think that the Democrats are going to win? And I know it's tight in a number of races. How do you see it?
Well, look, here's what I think. I think the American people need to look and see exactly what the Republicans have been able to deliver with this president. And do they really want people like Maxine Waters to be the chairwoman of financial services and some of these other chairs and get back to gridlock, impeachment, all those things? I think that's the concern. I'm hoping that American people realize that we can continue to move forward with what we have, with a growing and booming economy, or we can move backwards. So in the end, I really do rely on the American people to get out and vote and make sure that they have their voice heard. And in the end, move this country, continue to move this country forward.
All right, Congressman, good to see you this morning. Thanks very much, Congressman Jim Renacci there.